Hello everyone! Welcome back to our mathematics online video tutorial. Before we begin, please grab a notebook and a pen for you to jot down notes while the discussion is ongoing. Please listen attentively and always practice personal hygiene protocols at all times. Teacher Christine nga pala, at your service! Bagong quarter, bagong lesson, bagong module. Okay, so for today, meron na naman tayong bagong lesson at ang lesson na to ay ang approximating measurement. So this is our module for this week. This module is comprised with only one lesson, which is the approximating measurement. And after going through this module, you will be able to approximate the measures of quantities, particularly length, weight or mass, volume, time, angle, and temperature and rate. But before we move on to approximating measurements, first is we need to define the different terms that we will be using all throughout the discussion. Measurement basics. So we have here the length. Length is the distance of something measured. Volume or capacity, how much something can hold. Generally liquid. And then mass, the amount of matter an object has. And then weight, the amount of the Earth's gravitational pull. Other types of measurement includes temperature, time, angle, and then rate. Temperature is usually measured in degree Fahrenheit and degree Celsius. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Time is usually measured in terms of days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Other units include millisecond, week, month, year, decade, century, and millennium. The basic unit of angle is the degree. Angles are measured using a device called a protractor. Rate is a ratio of two measurements having different units. In order for us to understand fully what is all about measurement, first we need to look at its history. Ancient people used body parts and natural objects in measurement. Ibig sabihin nito, noong unang panahon daw, ang mga sinaunang tao ay gumagamit ng kanilang iba't ibang parte ng katawan at mga nakikita nilang bagay sa paligid upang sa gayon ay gamitin ito sa pag-measure.
People use their body parts like hand, foot, or forearm to measure the length of an object. When the palm of a hand is spread out, the distance between the tip of the little finger and the tip of the thumb is a span. The distance between the elbow and the tip of the middle finger is a cubit. The distance between the tip of the big toe and the end of the ankle is a foot span. The distance covered during a single step while walking is a pace.
Lahat ng yan ay ilan lamang sa mga nagamit na parte ng katawan ng ating mga ninuno upang sa gayon ay malaman kung ano nga ba ang sukat ng iba't ibang bagay. So panoorin natin ang susunod na video upang sa gayon ay mas malinawan tayo kung paano nga ba gamitin ang mga ito at kung ano nga ba ang dinulot nito sa ating lipunan.
Let us measure the room length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. The length of the room is 20 paces. Correct.
20 paces? It is not 20 paces.
It is 25 paces.
It is 20 paces and not 25 paces. I checked it, didn't I?
Ravi tries to measure its length using his handspan. He tells us that the length of the table is 5 handspans. Now, Sita measures its length using her handspan. She tells us that the length of the table is 7 handspans. The measurements for the length of the table are different because the size of the body parts varies from person to person. The difference in measurements can be confusing. This is why we use a fixed length to compare.
So here are some of the disadvantages of using body parts in measuring. The first one is body part measurements are not accurate as the human body differs from person to person. Next, natural objects differ in size and weight. The third one, measurement change from location to location. The primitive system gave rise to confusion and chaos as there was no uniform way to measure anything. With trade and taxation came the need for standardized units. So nagkaroon ng pagkalito at pag-aaway-away ng mga tao noong unang panahon dahil sa ginamit na sistemang ito. Sa kadahilan ng walang pare-parehong bagay na panukat ang ginagamit noon. So, nung magkaroon na ng palitan ng mga produkto at pagbabayad ng buwis, kinailangan ng mag-set ng standardized units. The next slides will tell us more about the standard systems of measurement. So the following properties can be measured. First is the length or yung haba, weight or mass, yung bigat ng isang object or matter na nasa loob ng object. And then temperature is yung init or lamig ng isang bagay or ng isang lugar. And then time, kung anong oras na nga ba, anong petsa na. Volume or capacity, yung amount na kayang i-hold ng isang bagay. Rate, yung speed, yung kung gaano siya kabilis, gaano kabilis ang isang bagay. And then angle, yung angulo. Minsan yan is geometry. Standard systems of measurement. Standard systems are based on some standard to measure against. So, kailangan mo ng isang bagay at isang panukat. Next, some nations often use body parts of their king or ruler as the standard distance. So, pagkatapos ng mga primitive system of measurement, naisipan ng mga tao na magkaroon ng standard or yung basic na panukat. For example, sa ibang nasyon, ginamit nila yung paa ng kanilang king, yung or ruler as the standard measure or standard distance. And then, kapag namatay na yung kanilang king, a new measurement system would be created. So, kung sino yung papalit na king, yun na yung susunod na gagawin nilang standard measurement. So, ito yung mga iba't ibang bagay na ginamit nila para sa standardized measurement. Standard weights for measuring gold dust used by the Asante of Ghana. And then, yung pangalawa, standardized weights for from the Indus River Valley. And This one is a bronze ruler from the Han Dynasty in China. So, yan yung iba't ibang ginamit nila na standardized units. Another standard of measurement that has evolved is the English system and was standardized through British and Weights Measures Act of 1824, which defined the imperial units to be used throughout the British Empire. Okay, so here is an example of the imperial unit or the English system. So the early English inch was defined as the length of 3 barley corns laid end to end. And the next one is King George III of England's standard weights from 1773. In 1799, the French Academy of Science called a group of scientists all over the world to establish an international standard of measures. So, nagpatawag sila ng iba't ibang grupo ng scientists para sa gayon ay makabuo sila ng international standard of measures. And then, one of them is Napoleon. Napoleon commissioned a survey to find the length from the Ecuador to the North Pole. And then 1/10 millionth of this distance was defined as a meter. This gave birth to the metric system, and then conversions from one unit to another were all done by factors of 10. In 1960, the metric system was revised and renamed as International System of Units, or the SI units in short. All major countries in the world except USA had already shifted to the International System of Units, and as a result, this had become the most widely used system of measurement worldwide. So yung ginagamit natin dito sa Pilipinas ay yung SI unit, or the International System of Units. Yan yung halos ginagamit ng lahat ng mga countries or nations sa buong mundo, except ng USA, which is gumagamit sila ng English system. So we have here a table in which it compares the English system and the SI units. So for the length, for the English system we have yard or inch, and then for the SI units we have meter or centimeter. Next is the mass. For English system it uses ounce or pound, and then for the SI units we have here gram or kilogram. And the next, volume. For the English system it uses quart, and then for the SI units liter. And then temperature, English system Fahrenheit, sa atin SI unit is Celsius or Kelvin. And then for the time, parehas lang, second and second. So kung mapapansin ninyo, dito banda sa ating SI unit is ito yung kalimitang ginagamit natin sa Pinas. Meter, centimeter, and then gram, kilogram, liter. Minom tayo ng mga soft drinks or whatsoever, and then Celsius. Ito yung ating degree. And then second. So, yung SI units talaga is, ito yung karaniwang ginagamit ng halos na lahat ng bansa, except for USA. All measurement system have Standards are exact quantities that everyone agrees to use as basis of comparison. So, napaka-importante na meron tayong standardized system kasi kung wala, dito tayo magkakalito-lituhan. For the SI units, it uses the following prefixes. First is the kilo, then hecto, deca, unit, the basic unit, or the basic units are meter, liter, and gram, and then deci, centi, milli. So for kilo, we have here 1,000 and hecto 100. Kung mapapansin mo, it is a factor of 10. Paliit ng paliit, i-divide mo lang siya ng 10. So yung pinakamalaki natin is, pinakamahaba is yung for the SI unit is yung kilo, which is 1,000, and then divide it by 10 to have the hecto, which is 100, and then divide it by 10 again, then it will result to 10. Deca na yon, then divide it by 10, 1. So 1 is our basic unit, or the meter, or maybe gram, or maybe liter, and then divide it again by 10. We have here 1 over tenths, and then 1 tenths, or next is the centi, 1 over 100, and then last is the milli, 1 over 1,000. This system works with any SI measurement. So lahat ng international system of units natin ay nag-work itong nasa table. And then the unit becomes whichever type of measurements you are making. Ito na yung sinasabi ko na yung mga prefixes na yan, pwede siyang gamitin sa mass, volume, or length. Or yung mass natin is for gram, volume is for liter, and then length is for meter. And then it is the same system regardless if you are measuring length, mass, or volume. It works for all types of measurement. If you are measuring mass, then it is the gram. So yung previous slide natin, yung nasa table, yun yung mga prefixes na pwede nating idagdag sa ating basic unit. So kung mass yung ating susukatin, then we have here the gram. So idadagdag lang natin sa unahan yung kilo, hecto, deca, and then centi, deci, and milli. So for example, we have here centigram, milligram, or etc. Depende sa kung ano yung amount na isusukat mo. And then next, length. So ang ating unit for length is meter. Ito yung basic unit natin. So gumagamit tayo ng ruler, meter stick, or etc. And then yan, kilometer, and then decameter. So pwede ring millimeter sa mga maliliit na may ikling bagay. And then next, volume. So liquid naman ang sinusukat kapag volume ang sinasabi natin dito. Example is deciliter, hectoliter. So kung gusto mong i-measure kung ilan ba yung pwede mong ipainom sa iyong kapatid na liquid, then I think it's milliliter. Kasi konti lang. Droplets lang yun. And then, the first part of the term indicates the amount, and then the second part indicates the type of measurement. So, ito yun. Ito yung first part. Deci means 1 over 10, and then it tells the amount. And then yung second part natin is liter, so it indicates the type of measurement. So volume yung ating sinusukat dito.
Now let us approximate. Determine a practical SI unit for each of the following. Number 1, length of the provincial road. Kilometer. Number 2. Total area of a farm. Square meter. Number 3. The mass of a baby. Kilogram. Number 4. The volume of a small pail of water. Liter. Number 5. The mass of a 24-karat gold bracelet. Gram. Number 6. A bottle of juice drink. Milliliter. 7. The length of wire of a phone charger. Meter. 8. A squash both at the market. Kilogram. 9. An extension wire. Meter. And 10. A small bottle of alcohol. Milliliter. I hope you learned a lot from my video, and as for your turn, you will be answering the learner's activity sheet in Mathematics 7, Simple Activity and Moderate Activity. So that ends my presentation. Good day until next time!